I want to play one more clip of we were talking about voters now. So this is the most important block now. It's not the Democratic House members. It's not the mouthpieces on television. It's the actual voters. And I am going to say this with all, I don't, when I say this, I'm not saying that this is fact. I'm not saying, that this is 100% true. But just when you go on social media like Twitter, there's hundreds of thousands of people on Twitter and a bunch of people are talking about it. If I go and I look at the comment sections on a lot of people that are anti-Biden, I'm not talking about the MAGA people. I'm talking about anybody that would vote for Biden. I do feel like I see more people defending Biden than not defending Biden. Are you seeing the same thing? Because I know you're on, and you have
yeah. No, absolutely. More people are defending him. And it's like, because it just, I don't know, it only makes sense. He said he's going to run, so you have to support him. Of course, if it was someone else, we would support them too. But to do what's expedient is to support the incumbent. Like, that's what you do. Anything other than that is going to cause more confusion, more break, more. You got to do more polling. Who do we have to try to reach now? Because like now we have another. How are the older people going to feel if they feel like you pushed out an older guy and those are the people that you want to come out to vote? Are they going to be like, let these youngsters learn because they push, you know what I mean? Are they going to feel it kind of like there's all of these other, we already know what we have with Biden. Biden knows who he has to work on getting. He knows he's trying to bridge the gaps with the independents, which looks like they're moving towards Biden. He knows that he has to try to get black men. That's why he's been at the black church. And that's the other thing. Because do notice, I don't know if you have the clip from Bishop Morris. I think it's Bishop Morris. I think that's his name. The black church is where you go for the support, for the fellowship, for the inspiration, and that's where he went. Going to a black church, no matter what color you are, is like going home, because that's how you're going to feel when you walk into that church and you tell them that you need some spiritual edification. They're going to give you that, and that is what they gave to Biden. The Congressional Black Caucus, the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. Black and brown people are the ones who are solid. And I keep saying it, it's because loyalty is a thing in these communities. It's a thing. We don't turn our backs on someone just like that because things and times get hard, because we know hard times. We know how that feels. So loyalty is important. That's why you don't see AOC, Ayanna Presley, like even Ilhan, none of them are saying we don't support him, because they get it. They get loyalty. And when you start to look disloyal and like you're just like, oh, he had a bad night, this is mine. It's like, because you can't attack his mind without attacking Trump's mind. Like, that's kind of nuts to me. And they get it. Right. So that's a stark contrast. You got to see that, because it's real.
Oh, I see it. And, I was going to bring that up too, because a lot of people that I follow that are black, from the black community, that is one word I hear a lot, is loyalty. I've seen that word numerous times, loyalty.
Right,
and I've seen, a lot of people in the black community take offense to, not just the idea of looking for somebody else, but getting rid of Joe Biden. And, I also made this comment on Twitter the other day, and I truly mean this. I'm not saying it to pander. It's just something that I have observed over the years. And this wasn't an observation I made thinking that this voting bloc didn't know what they're talking about and I came to some realization. It was just a realization that I made based on everybody, that Black women seem to be more in tune with politics than any other voting bloc. It just feels that way to me. They seem to understand, because I think in a way, being a Black mother or being, you know, a Black daughter, whatever it is, you have to be in tune with everything that's going on. You have to
Yeah.
understand everything that's going on, because if you don't, it is detrimental to your family. It's detrimental to your loved ones. And that is the observation that I've made. Lana, does that resonate at
It's
all?
extremely correct, because the Black women have been the bedrock to their communities, and that's not to put Black men down, because Black men are important. But you have to remember, there was a time, and it still happens today, where the only thing that was happening was they were throwing Black men in prison for anything, for everything, for any minor offenses.
Yeah.
So Black men were taken out of the household, and Black women had to hold it down while he was away. So that made Black women take on a whole nother role. So now the Black woman had to be the protector when her husband was away. So it definitely gives you a different prism of what to look for. Because did you see Joy Reid and I forgot her name at the Essence Festival?
No.
And Stacey Abrams was there too, and they were talking to Black women and Black women voters and what they thought. And again, and it's funny because Black women understand without even following politics to the level that we're following politics, right? They still get Trump's a liar. He was lying about stuff, right? They knew, even though they're not following it. So that makes you think, how come MAGA that's stupid, right? Because you have people who don't follow politics who could follow that and go, that's a bunch of bullshit. That doesn't even make sense.
It's like almost grade school level to be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
And, you know, for the people who are on the complete opposite side, who can't even just get the grade school level part of it, is mind bending to me. I will never understand it. But, you know, we talked about the voting bloc and Black women, and there's a mix of people here on this clip from CNN. These were undecided voters. We had played something about undecided voters last time, but they were talking to them here on CNN, and there's some interesting comments here as well.
Truthful at the debate.
It was absolutely Biden.
I think
Biden
was more truthful.
It was over 30 lies that Trump said, and I realized that I think he just continues to spit rhetoric just to keep you discombobulated.
After the debate, who do you trust more to run this country?
I mean, if I had to choose a person just strictly based off the debate, then of course it would be Biden.
And there was a lot of lack of care for the American people from Trump. I feel like if you're going to be our president again, you have to represent all of us and be inclusive as well, and that was not there.
I don't think that Trump has been a great example of leadership in business or in just human decency.
Do you all think this was one bad night for Biden, or is this beyond repair?
Time will tell.
I don't think it's beyond repair for Biden.
So do any of you think Biden should drop out?
I don't think he should drop out because he is just a better human being than any other option that we have.
So at this point, you know, drop out and replace him with who? He has momentum going, and if Biden drops out at this point, I think it's just a lose for the entire party.
Because last we spoke, you said, I'm going to watch this debate, and I think that's going to help me. Did it help you get any closer to deciding on a candidate?
I mean, it helped me to X out one a bit more.
And who would that be?
That would be Trump.
Well, either they listened to the to Black and White with Brian Rundle and Lana Quest, because they were saying a lot of things that Lana had said. You know, so, you know, that's kind of it. And that's what we're hoping, right? We're hoping that the voter that's not as connected, you know, apparently if you're an undecided voter, you're not a connected voter, obviously.
No,
so
you can't be.
Right. So, so when you're watching a debate, and even one that is as porous as the one that our president had, you had these women on here talking in just, you know, complete logic the entire time after seeing what they just watched.
Right, after seeing how bad Biden did, because even with the badness, he still, at towards the end, was able to get across his points of what he wanted to do, and what he wanted to do was the exact opposite of Trump, who couldn't even answer, how would you lower the cost of daycare? He
Right.
didn't even answer that. They asked him like 3 or 4 times. He started talking about
Immigration.
immigration again, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I mean, it is. And, people will pick up on that. And, the benefit
the
for
media
the,
did it, which is
huh?
hilarious. The media wants to talk about the debate day 12 or whatever day
Right.
it is. Why not take apart the things that Donald Trump said? He had a bad night too. He just didn't look frail, right? He
But-
just didn't pause in words.
Right.
He lies. He don't have to pause and think about shit. He just says the moon is like green and blue, and I saw like a meteor the other day, and it landed on Pluto. I went
And
to Pluto on
sharks and
vacation,
electric
right?
boats
Sharks
and
yeah, he just says the stuff.
Did you hear that idiot the other day talking about an electric airplane, and he's afraid it won't fly if the sun's not out? I mean, this, again, we go back and talk about just listen, and just the elementary school level of the things that he says, and people listen to it and go, great. The point I was going to make with the undecided voter, the benefit for them is, as we're watching it, we know we're voting for. So when we see any stumbles from our guy, we're freaked out and we're sick. They don't have a horse in the race here. So they're not freaked out either way. They're actually listening to the words the entire time, which is more beneficial in a way.
That's true. You got a point there.
Of course I do.